spent a career of convincing Americans that he's something that he's not in exchange for their money. Now he's trying to do the same in exchange for their country.
This little guy has lied so much about my record.
There we go. The person
he has lied so much about my record.
When you see what happens again when you challenge him on a policy issue, you asked him about the economy, and the first thing he does is launch an attack about some little guy thing, because he doesn't have answers, and he's asking us to make him the president of the United States of America.
We'll find out. Joining us right now to react to the presidential debate, the 11th one, as he always does, still shaking his head, Senator Marco Rubio. Why were you shaking your head, Senator? Great to see you.
Because this is nuts. I mean, first of all, we have the front runner in the Republican primary refuses to answer a single policy question. Finally, last night, he actually took a position and said, all right, I've changed my opinion on temporary guest workers, high-tech workers. And as soon as the debate ended and his handlers got a hold of him, within seconds, he reversed his position back. I mean, it's just unreal. And, you know, when is the last time you've ever seen a front runner who's performed the way he has? He's won X number of states, and we're still being asked, will you support him if he's the nominee? I mean, that question would never come up if anyone else was the front runner. There is a 65% of Republican voters do not want him to be our nominee. He can never unite our party. It really puts us in a tough position, and that's why I'm asking everyone to unite behind our campaign. We're the only one that can bring us together.
Well, Senator, so what you're saying is it's not so much that you're losing, it's that you're losing to Donald Trump that bothers you more.
Yeah, first of all, you say that we're losing, but we're still picking up a significant number of delegates. Obviously, at this early part in the process, we are basically within the same delegate range as everybody else. I mean, 100 delegate difference at this point is one state, if it's the right state, like Florida. This is the most unusual election we have had in my lifetime. No one here at this point has a clear path to the number of delegates necessary to be the nominee, and we're going to have to see how this works through. I can just tell you that of all the people left in this race, I know that I am the only one that can bring the party together, and I'm the only one that can grow it and grow the conservative movement.
Senator,
Donald Trump can't do that. I don't believe Ted can do that.
I know we want to talk about broker convention. I know we want to talk about what's ahead in Florida, but I want to ask real quickly. I asked my friends on Twitter to ask you questions this morning. Tom Larson says, why do you go into the gutter with a tax? And then Speedy Jerry says, Mr. Trump's hands. Why is that on your mind? How do you respond?
Well, first of all, Donald Trump has personally assaulted and offended in terms of insults everybody, not only on the debate stage last night, but everybody basically he can. I mean, the disabled, you name it. I mean, there's no end to his vulgarity. And there comes a point where someone like that needs to be confronted. So I'm just, for me to be asked about going in, to some attack when this guy does it on a regular basis, I think is absurd. That being said, I challenge people to watch all 11 debates, go back and watch them, watch my speeches, look at my website. No one on this campaign has worked harder to make this about issues than I have. When I'm asked a specific question about foreign policy last night, I gave a 65 or 70-second answer on foreign policy. When he gets asked about that, it becomes an attack on me. A personal attack is how he launches with. So I'm more than ready, as I said at the outset last night, let's have a policy debate. But he doesn't answer questions when it comes to policy, and so obviously that is something that unfortunately has marred this entire campaign.
Senator, there's a lot of speculation going on about where this race will go, whether there'll be a consolidation, whether there'll be a brokered convention. A lot of it determines on what happens on March 15th. Obviously, a big showdown for you in your home state of Florida. This is what Donald Trump had to say about your chances of Florida, and then we want to get your latest assessment of how you feel down there. Take a listen.
Real con artist is Senator Marco Rubio, who was elected in Florida and who has the worst voting record in the United States Senate. He doesn't go to vote. He's absent. He doesn't go. Now, the people of Florida can't stand him. He couldn't get elected dog catcher. The people of Florida, and by the way, I know he's going to spend $25 million on ads. Without that, he wouldn't have a chance. He's 20 points down. The people in Florida wouldn't elect him dog catcher.
Senator, Brian and I were talking earlier about this 20% number comes up that Donald Trump always says, I'm ahead by 20%. That's an older polling number. What are you seeing now? How do you feel about your chances in Florida, a very important state?
Look, first of all, Florida is a huge state. There's a lot of people voting in Florida. It'll be competitive no matter who's on the ballot. We've always known that. But we're going to win Florida. I'm incredibly confident, and we'll prove it on March 15th. And before that, there'll be a number of other places voting as well. But again, this goes back to the same thing. He talks about polling. Here's the bottom line. Of all the people left in this race, no one performs worse against Hillary Clinton than Donald Trump. If he is our nominee, we're going to have a fractured party. We're going to have a conservative movement that's unexcited about the nominee because he's not a conservative, and I think puts us in a very weak position. And that's why, again, I hold out hope that people will unite behind someone who's a real conservative. I believe that they ultimately will. And I ask people to join us at marcorubio.com. We're the only one left that can unite the party and grow it.
You know, I don't know if you knew that Senator Cruz said to Megyn that he would not support a brokered convention. He said it would fracture the party. Do you feel the same way? Would you not support a brokered convention?
Well, first of all, brokered convention insinuates that we're going to have this backroom deal where someone that's not even on the ballot is going to get dropped in. What is possible is that no one has 1,237 delegates. If you look at it now, even Donald Trump is going to have a tough time at this point getting to 1,237 delegates. That doesn't necessarily mean a brokered convention where there's a backroom deal. I do not support a backroom deal at the convention either. And that's why you have delegates, and that's why you have a convention. But I think this will all eventually work out, and there will be a consolidation behind someone not named Donald Trump. And I'm telling you, it is going to be me. And I am looking forward to that happening. It's going to be a lot of work. I'm not a front runner. I'm an underdog. But I've always been an underdog, and I relish that role because I think America is a country of underdogs.
Senator, Mitt Romney had to come out yesterday. John McCain in print today. John Lehman, a lot of higher-ups in the Republican Party coming out condemning Donald Trump. Does it show guys like you, Ted Cruz and Governor Kasich, have not done their job in minimizing or defining who he is, that these outsiders have to come in and do that?
Well, look, I think that's the catch-22, right? If you point that out, they say you're being negative. If you don't, you get the question that you get now. Here's the bottom line. I had preferred that this process would work itself out, and I said he's a con man. I didn't say he wasn't a good con man. And he's been able to convince some people that he is not, that he's someone who he really isn't. But I think that's slowly being exposed. You're seeing the impact of it. You know, we almost beat him in Virginia. We were 20 points down in Virginia in the last poll they took, and we came within 2 points of defeating him, got basically the same number of delegates. I honestly believe if there had been less people on that ballot and we'd had a couple more days, we would have won there. So I think that's what's happening across the country, and I feel very confident about the trends here as the real Donald Trump is being increasingly exposed.
You guys coordinating attacks against him?
In terms of other candidates?
Yep.
No. I mean, I think everyone's running their own campaign. That's, you know, that's the kind of, you know, what's the name of that program that people watch on TV?
House of Cards.
House of Cards stuff. That's not real. Yeah.
How are you feeling?
That's all. Everybody's running their campaign.
How are you feeling? I heard you had the flu.
I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay.
Well,
all right.
Good
I've
luck.
been worse.
By the way, you have some cute kids. I watched them on Super Tuesday. They were adorable. We were all talking about that in here. Those sons, they're so precious. Your daughters, too.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being with us.